University of Kansas professor Philip Smallcock is out of a job. Mark, you were supposed to correct me. Gosh dang it. Keep
Lowcock.
All right, thank you.
Lowcock.
All right, thank you. That's why I need two producers on this show.
Rock, chalk, Lowcock. Is that the new chant that's going on?
We'll find out at the first basketball game, I guess, coming up here in a few weeks. Dr. Phil Lowcock, a lecturer in the Department of Health, Sport, and Exercise Sciences, has left the university, according to an official statement that was dropped by KU on Friday. We broke this first on the KCMO Talk Radio Facebook page. I started hearing from alumni that their emails were getting responded to by administrators, including Athletic Director Travis Goff, saying that Lowcock was no longer with the university. So we reported that it was Friday afternoon. We put it up on the KCMO Talk Radio Facebook page. I put it up on X at Pete Mundo, and we broke it there. And then the official word came out in the next hour or so. So some people were looking at this and saying, okay, the guy is out. Now, what did he do? Well, here's what he said in a clip that went viral middle of last week.
Guys are smarter than girls. You got some serious problems. That's what frustrates me. There are going to be some males in our society that will refuse to vote for a potential female president because they don't think females are smart enough to be president. We could line all those guys up and shoot them. They clearly don't understand the way the world works. Did I say that? Scratch that from the recording. I don't want the deans hearing that I said that.
So that was what was said by KU professor Phil Lowcock in a since viral clip that went all over the internet last Wednesday, courtesy of Ned Ryan, son of the great Olympian and former Kansas Congressman Jim Ryan. And KU put him on administrative leave, and it was announced that he left the university on Friday. Now, I'm not going to sit here and give KU too much credit for this. The fact that they allowed him to leave on his own accord is embarrassing. KU should have fired him immediately. There's no investigation here, right? It's not like there's an allegation of something that was said or something that was done that like people don't have on tape that was being reported on social media. A video clip came out, and assuming it's not AI generated, which in this world you never know, but all you need to do is be like, okay, did that happen? Yes. It's not AI generated. Okay. Well, guess what? You're done. But the fact that KU said that he left the university, that is a cowardly way to handle this. Because what it means is that he got to leave on his own accord. He was not told to leave. He was not forced out. He was not fired. He got to leave. And by the way, I say this somewhat tongue-in-cheek, I hope. But somebody asked me on X, they said, hey, Pete, what's next for Lowcock? And I said, well, Lowcock may be a dean at one of the Ivies. You know, when you say stuff like that, you kind of get an upgrade in higher education. I very much hope that that's satire when I say that. But nothing would surprise me in the world of higher education. Cornell or Yale or Harvard's going to be like, hey, we need that cock guy out of Kansas. That guy knows what he's saying out there. Yeah, you know, if you're not voting for Kamala, well, line him up and shoot him, was the insinuation there. It's a disgrace. It was a disgrace to KU, and it's frankly a disgrace to higher education at large. And here's what KU needs to do. And KU should be doing this today. KU needs to take a serious look in the mirror and say, okay, if we have one professor who is comfortable enough to say stuff like this in a classroom, do we really think he's the only one? Do we really believe that he is the only one who is in a classroom setting with impressionable young people and would say such obscene things like that? You don't get to a point where someone says something like that and it's like the first time they said it and it's just a slip of the tongue. That is something that inherently becomes part of something that somebody is and is part of, I believe, a broader cultural issue. Now, that being said, I know plenty of people who have their kids at KU, who have had kids who graduated KU, plenty of people who have been recent graduates of KU and have come out without getting indoctrinated. But most of those individuals, and this is what I've been told by people who have sent their kids there and have graduated there, you stay in the business school, you go to learn a skill, you're probably going to be okay. You go to the arts and sciences, liberal arts, forget it. You don't know what you're walking into. That's where, in large part, the real indoctrination can end up happening. But if you go for a skill, nursing, business, engineering, whatever, you're probably going to be okay. And that's true for most universities, I would say. You're probably going to be able to keep a level head on your shoulders if you go to one of the schools where you're actually learning a skill set, John.
Yeah, luckily, though, we keep Charlie Kirk and Ben Shapiro off those campuses.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yes.
We don't want them inciting violence.
No, we can't have Ben Shapiro, who's on at 2 p.m. here on KCMO, talking some sense into young people, because that would, you're right, bring out violence, John.
Yeah, him, Charlie Kirk, his whole ilk.
I know, the turning point, folks.
Yeah,
that would be, oh, boy. Oh, I'm shivering just thinking about it.
Imagine.
Whoa,
What
you're right.
could happen?
Oh,
if we
This
don't
is
learn from
absolutely
history.
lit. This is lit.
oh, you're right. You're right. That really could get wildly out of hand real fast. So this is just one small moment. It shouldn't change the fact that these universities are broken. That a professor can say what this Lowcock said at KU.
And a student couldn't, most likely.
You're right. And somehow potentially think he's getting away with it. But that's the environment that's been created at too many of these universities. And KU did this for one reason and one reason only. They don't want the donations to dry up. And if you are a donor to KU, I would just say this. They're giving you the scalp, figuratively speaking here, with Lowcock not even getting shown the door, but just leaving, as I put up my quotes. But don't think that, unfortunately, this is not prevalent. I believe it is prevalent. I don't think that guys like this get emboldened to say things like that, talking about rounding people up and shooting them if they don't vote the right way in the upcoming election, without that being part of a broader cultural problem that KU is facing. They undeniably are facing that broader problem. The question now becomes, are they willing to do anything about it? Or are they just going to basically bury their heads in the sand and say, see, we got the cock man out of there. We're good. We're all set. Nothing to see here. See, he's gone. Oh, we took care of that problem. Trust me, the problem is much bigger. The problem goes much deeper.